Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for talking a little horror with us. We are only half the collective tonight. Hopefully, some more people join on in. But as of right now, I am joined by Tyler from Fate Decided. What's up, my dude?
What's up? Nothing. We're just holding it down until Knight and Craven. They should be trickling in here shortly. But in the meantime, you got the better half of the collective. It's fun.
We got the half that where we have to assume that we know everything based on your shirt,
Yeah,
at least.
That's why I wore the shirt, because I do.
Well, there we go, man. Rock on, rock on. Well, I'm excited to get into it. We got a real fun topic today. We oftentimes talk about Scream here on the collective, Tyler, but I'm really excited for us to get into some Scary Movie 6, which is also where, in a lot of ways, I think people know Ghostface from, which is such an interesting topic, which I wanted to get into that to kind of start this off. We have Knight joining us, too. What is up, my dude?
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
You kind of glitched out there when we were backstage for a second. Everything okay?
I know the Wi-Fi, and I was about to ask a really important question too. Well, fun question, I should say.
If you can ask it on stream, you can fire away.
I was just thinking the same thing. I want to know what the question is. Go ahead, ask it.
I just wanted to hear, just kind of an overall thought on weapons if you guys had seen it.
Oh man,
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. But you guys, yeah. But I mean, go ahead.
Dude.
Knight, here's what I'll say without spoiling anything. I feel like every single one of those broken narratives, I was more shocked than the last time. It was just phenomenal. Yes. I loved it. That ending was pure batshit. So I loved it big time.
Yeah, we loved it too. And you know what? It was so good that even the two kids enjoyed it. And they're always kind of bitching about horror. Oh, it wasn't that good or blah, blah, blah. They were both like, yeah, we like that. I was like, yes. Nice.
Yeah, I was over the moon about it. My theater was like in an uproar, dude, which was like, that never happens usually with these weirder horror movies, but it seemed like one that everybody was pretty on board with, which was sick. So
yeah, I'm happy for Zach and everybody involved and stuff like that. And I think what did it do, like 70 million worldwide over the weekend?
Yeah, it's the largest opening for what was it, original horror or something like that, or original sci-fi. So I was reading something about that earlier.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Between that and Sinners this year, that is just, we're having the indie horror, the original horror, I should say, is just pulling in numbers this year, which is so exciting, man. Really exciting stuff.
I'm really hoping that this sparks a new wave, because Hollywood is a monkey see monkey do copycat industry, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I mean, we've expressed our frustrations. I've definitely expressed my frustrations on just the repetitiveness and just there's no originality, there's no new ideas. It's just they're rehashing the same things. Right? I'd almost I've even talked about I'd almost rather you do how Victor Crowley is just Friday the 13th, or Friday the 13th, reskinned. I'd rather you do something like that than just another, not obviously Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. We haven't gotten in so long. Sure, I'm game for that. I'm game for the classic, things like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, even Scream to an extent. I look at those as its own bubble, right? You can give me a new Halloween movie every year. I'm gonna watch it. It's fun. But these other little offsuit things, I feel can we get back to some originality? Give me something new. Give me something to digest here. Obviously, the whole every idea has been thought of, but still, you can take multiple ideas and combine them into something new. Get creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I really liked about this one, though. This felt so original. It's hard for me to compare it to something because it really does just stand on its own 2 feet. I don't know. I don't want to say anymore because it's the perfect movie to go into blind. Am I right?
Yeah. No. And I almost wish, even though the trailers didn't give away too much, I don't think, I almost wish I went in absolutely blind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so crazy the way the story is and everything with it. And you got to give him credit, man, because Barbarian also, it took swings and added some fresh stuff to the mix. And like you guys are saying, I just hope that this is like gonna push us in that direction. We're still gonna need people to go and support these films in the theater. Everybody, Jake, I know what happens in your chats. I know what happens in mine and Steven's and Tyler's. It's like people like, oh, we're tired of, how many Scream films are they gonna do, blah blah, and that's fine. But these are the movies that you got to go out and support so that we can get more of them, more Sinners, more Long Legs, more this. You know what I mean? So,
well, we were just talking even in the back, like about Resident Evil and how, because the guy that did what's his name, Jason Eggers, right?
Zach Krager.
Zach Krager. There we go.
Yeah.
Knew something like that. I was close.
Close enough.
But he's gonna do the new Resident Evil movie, and he even said that like he doesn't want it to be like the games. He wants it to be its own story. Thank you. That's a great example. Like again, like we don't have to keep rehashing the same thing, and it's like using the same dollar to pay the same. It's just like you're cycling the same nonsense over and over. Like give me something new, right? Like. Give me something that like I can digest here a little bit.
Well, speaking of something new that I can chew on, we got Craven something scary in the house, baby.
Wow. Well, hey, hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
I do that comment backstage. I have
Doing
nothing to
okay. Oh gosh, man.
Steven, did you get a chance to see Weapons yet, Steven?
No, I'm going to watch it tonight, or I'm 100% watching it tomorrow. That's the goal.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Cool.
And listen, I never watched a trailer for the movie.
Oh, that must be nice.
I know nothing about this movie whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, double excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all I'm going to say, and then we'll get into the topic tonight.
Careful, Jake. Please.
I know. I'm not going to spoil anything. I wish I hadn't seen a trailer because there was something I had figured out, which I was bummed out about. That's all I'm going to say.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I'll shut up. But anyways,
please.
We have no spoilers. No spoilers. We will tonight we're talking about two movies, however, that have not arrived yet, and I want to start this off by saying that it's such an interesting we have such an interesting horror icon with Ghostface. You know what I mean? How many horror icons can you name that are kind of part of two different franchises at the same time, portrayed in two different ways? Ghostface, it was so funny when I was working at Chipotle for a long time with a lot of young people, and I said, I talk about Ghostface online, and they're like, oh, the character from Scary Movie. And I was like,
oh, good Lord.
But while I was a little frustrated, like I'm sure you gentlemen are right now, it is interesting to think that Scary Movie also has that cultural influence over people just like Scream does. So I guess if there's a point to be made is like, I think Ghostface is one of the most recognizable, if not the most recognizable icon in the biz. And that's because of both of these franchises, oddly enough. It's just a weird thing that I wanted to start off tonight's stream. Weird little factoid, something I've observed in the horror space. But that's why we got to compare Scary Movie 6 with Scream 7, because Ghostface, silly Ghostface, specifically that one on my closet door there, is coming back for this one. Haven't seen him since the first Scary Movie, and a lot of us are excited. Scary Movie 6 is a movie that's going to be controversial because it's lots of weird rumored casting, like Melissa Barrera potentially hopping franchises, going from Scream now over to Scary Movie, potentially to make fun of that franchise. Scream 7's had a tumultuous production, which is something that I'm sure this new movie is going to rip on, but Scream 7 might also be this massive comeback for the franchise, a return to form that some would argue it desperately needs. So tonight, gentlemen, I want to give general thoughts on both these movies, kind of boil down just what we're, excited for, things, pros and cons for both, and maybe come to a conclusion of which one we're the most excited for. So I kind of just want to start off with a topic that we're all too familiar with, Scream 7. Whoever wants to take this first. Pros, cons, just a general oversight of how we feel about this movie with everything we've learned about it across the last 2 years or so. Fate, do you want to take it first?
So just general, we're just sticking with Scream 7 or comparing it to Scream 6?
Just right now, overall thoughts about Scream 7, just to start it off.
Yeah, so I want to pick a direction. It's probably the best way to put it. Like, I really hope that this movie, like, look, I'm somebody that wants to move off of Sydney. Not because I don't love Sydney. I grew up with Sydney. I just think all good things come into an end. And what we've seen from these new creatives with Sydney Prescott has not really gotten me all like super excited to see how they're going to do Sydney. But it's very different to do an entire film around Sydney and her being a cameo while you're trying to, develop all these other characters. So I am hopeful in that sense. Plus Kevin Williams back, right? So I think that'll be very helpful. But he's directing, not writing. So, I have my concerns. I have some reservations. But obviously I'm excited for it. I really want them to just do a good service. But like pick a direction. What I mean by that is like tell a story that is your own, not Scream 95 or 96 reskinned, like we were talking about earlier with the reskins, not any of this other crazy stuff. Like keep it simple, keep it, tell a Sydney story. If you want to prop her daughter up to be the new face, in a post in here, fine. However you want to do it, however you want to go about it, that's fine. But just pick a lane, pick a direction, right? Is basically what I'm getting to. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad to see Sydney's back. I understand it's kind of like the situation they were in with the Melissa Barrera situation, right? It's like, what's the safest route to go? It's like Sydney. So okay, got me. I'm on board. I get it. But do right by her character. Do right by give us a new story. I don't need Scream 96, but with Sydney again, right? Like it's her daughter this time instead of her, right? So anyway. Yeah. Night.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about, what I'm thinking overall about Scream 7, I still have really, really high expectations and a lot of excitement. I think that, to me, the thing I keep kind of hanging my hat on is Kevin. And I just feel like, obviously, other than Wes Craven, I mean, Kevin knows these characters. He knows how they act, how they should have dialogue with each other and all these types of things. And I just keep thinking to myself, I would be so shocked if this isn't a better movie as far as character development and arcs and so forth than what we've seen at least in the last 2 Scream movies. Okay. And if we can at least do that, then I'm feeling pretty good, because I love all the Scream films, but obviously the first 4 are very special to me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I'm still really excited, and I really think that we're gonna get a good movie. I truly do. Again, Kevin is just linked to these characters so much, and I just can't imagine him just kind of signing off on some subpar conversations or wacky dialogue that doesn't really give any weight to the having Courtney Cox in the movie for 17 minutes, and she doesn't really do anything but run around and almost gets killed, and we find out off camera that she survived. I just don't see Kevin like signing off on stuff like that. No shade to 6.
You don't think that Kevin had any creative involvement with 5 or 6? Like he just produced those movies and let them be a part of his franchise? I don't know. I guess I have doubts about that.
Well, you could be 100% right. He literally could have been right there. Say, yeah, okay, cool, it looks great. But I don't know, man. I just feel like when we have people that are, producing, and especially with this type of situation, I just have a feeling it's more of a like, almost like a, hey guys, this is what I think type of thing. And, it's up to you. This is your movie. I'm just here, in a creative consultant, producing role, whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay. I feel you on that.
It just feels like that's what it was. And I could be totally wrong. He literally could have been in the Ghostface costume for all we know. I don't know. But, I'm just saying, it's just hard to imagine that he had a real hand in what happened in 5 or 6. I mean, I think there's probably moments, for sure. Because, look, we joke around about it a lot, and I know I'm ranting, but I'll end it up real quick. But there are a lot of great moments in 5 and 6, in my opinion anyways. I just think overall, as a whole, they missed some marks, and especially with characters in a way, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I'll say about that. But
And just to add something to that, I guess, real quick is, maybe now with his name attached to it at basically the top, right, as the director, there's going to be a little more of that. My one thing about Kevin is this is an argument that gets made a lot about it. Craven, I'm not skipping over you, I promise. I'm so sorry. I just had a thought. I had a twinkle.
Buddy.
Had a little twinkle. I had to get it out.
Get your twinkle out.
I've heard Kevin Williamson. I don't know. He doesn't come off to me as like a super like aggressive, like, oh, it's got to be this way, my way or the highway or anything like that. But I have heard him talk about Scream 3, and he like. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth or anything along those lines, but it just sounds like he's got a very strong, almost borderline hatred for that film because of what it did to 1 and 2. And I feel that if 5 and 6 did something that he strongly disagreed with, like something that he genuinely felt was not Scream at its core, he would have, completely taken that from the record. I mean, we can sit here and bitch about it all day because I have problems with 5 and 6 just like everybody else. But hearing him talk about Scream 3, there was some podcast interview or something where he was just like, man, Scream 3 is like, it's the weakest one. I don't like Roman and all that. He had a lot of problems with Roman. And it's so interesting to me because it's like, wow, it's like, shit, that's one that I didn't think Kevin Williamson of all the movies would dislike, but it makes sense. He was, fired from it. Sorry, I'm ranting. But for me, at least, with him being involved with 5 and 6, I feel like if there was something in there that he really hated, it would have been taken out. So I think that's why I feel that 5 and 6 could have the same problems. That's why I think that 7 could have the same problems as 5 and 6 if that stays consistent. But I don't know. That's just my weird thought take on it. Craven, I want to throw it to you, my friend. Overall thoughts about Scream 7. Are you hopeful or as pessimistic as I am?
No, I'm very, very hopeful. And, I'm going to just comment a little bit on what you guys were just talking about, because 5 and 6, you got to remember too, this is what Scream 5 came out. It's been 10 years basically since Scream 4, I think, or maybe longer. I don't know. Can't remember the dates.
I think it was 11 years.
Right? 11 years?
11
Yeah,
okay.
About that time, yeah.
So it's been a long time. Now, remember I remember an interview with Radio Silence. I've never forgotten it for some reason. And they said that Kevin got with them because Radio Silence, first of all, just a reminder, per their own words, essentially. I mean, not word for word, but basically the idea is they don't do anything with the script. In fact, I think they even said like Guy and them are over here on one side, we're on the other side with scripting. Like they don't even know. They get handed the script, and what they do is strictly take the script that's handed to them. This is Radio Silence, and put it on the screen. There's no creative input, like maybe a little, but like nothing significant, because he was very clear when he said, we don't get involved with the script at all. So I just want to keep that as an umbrella over my next statements. So Kevin Williamson's brought in as producer, basically like Knight said, a consultant, right? And I remember in this interview, they said that the the script was given over to Kevin Williamson. This is for 5. It was given to Kevin Williamson, and they said that he made notes about many notes on the script. And according to Guy or Matthew, or not Guy, anyway, Radio Silence, they said we implemented everything he said to do in 5. Now but here's the thing: he's not writing 5. He's taking what's given to him, and he's making suggested changes. That's a whole different ball game than writing the script. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason I bring all this up is because for 7, he had an entire year to digest Guy's script. A whole year. And did you notice when Nev first announced she was back on Instagram, the picture she showed was a script of Scream 7, and it said revised date June. It was like last June. It was the current month she posted. Well, there's revisions, then that means that's not the original. That's not the complete original. So here's why I'm hopeful, because I believe that that Kevin Williamson is going to take an approach that, much like Christopher Landon was going to do, he is going to take the script, but he is going to make changes. And I think if there's any of this silliness from 6, the uncohesiveness of 6, this brain, the head scratching moments we know about, I think if any of those are there for this one, as a director, he's got a lot of power. He's not a consultant that just says, hey guys, I suggest you do that. He's a director of the project. I know I'm rambling. I'm going to stop. I think that Jake, I have it too. I know it's hard. So I believe in this case, the reason I'm hopeful, first of all, it's featuring Sidney Prescott. She's not a little cameo in the third act. And Kevin Williamson has had an entire year to chew that script up, digest it, review it again. And I believe we have proof there were changes made from her post. And I think he was making them all the way up to filming. So that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts.
The question is, how much creative control did they give him? You know what I mean? It's one thing to go like, hey, if you want to make some notes, go ahead.
Right.
It's another thing to be like, hey, I want to change this. I want to change this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this. Sydney wouldn't do this. Sydney would do this. Right? Because again, it's great that, maybe he did some revisions. Maybe he did look over it. Maybe they did give him some notes. But again, he's not writing it. And him directing and him writing are two very different things, right? Now it's very possible that because it is Kevin Williamson, they let it go kind of hand in hand, right? And maybe they gave him like a limit and were like, hey, if there's anything that you're like pressed on that you want to remove, sure, right? Type thing. But right. I don't know if we should expect that guy wrote a whole script and went, here you go, Kevin. And Kevin was like, nope, change this. No.
Well, and see, Fate, that's another thing that I guess I have, something that I'm worried about regarding Scream 7. Had it been, if Kevin was writing this and you had Christopher Landon directing, I would completely, I'd shut my trap. I'd be like, this is going to be the best Scream sequel yet. But ever. I think my problem with how it's being approached now is I've seen a lot of movies where Kevin Williamson has had see my fingers here, a hand in the script. And it's always like an idea of his that is tossed at somebody else. And I have yet to be impressed by one of those movies. And I'm so sorry. Everybody loves the movie. The example I'm going to use is Sick from a few years ago. Everybody loved this movie. I hated it. I was miserable watching that movie. I was very frustrated.
Can I ask one thing too? Because I remember you saying it. And I know we talked about it. So, but I just kind of forgot. Just as a quick little take, what did you hate about it?
I did not buy into the killers at all. I thought that there was things about so we're focusing this slasher on a cultural event that happened very recently, and even in that we got things wrong. This is something that happened a few years before this movie came out, and we're getting things wrong to push this narrative. And I get you got to make things happen to tell a story. Sometimes you got to do that, but it's just it was so glaringly obvious that that's not how it went down, because we just went through all of that I just couldn't buy into it. There was so many moments of that throughout the entire flick where, again, had it been, okay, we said we do a murder mystery in the 1940s or something like that, and there was a few things loosey-goosey, whatever, that's a different story. But this was such a recent thing to get it wrong. To me, that's embarrassing. I don't know. There was things like that. I did not like the final girl, and this movie relied on you liking the final girl. I felt she was very frustrating. It was little things like that, but that's not Kevin's fault. That's I guess what I'm trying to get at, if there's a general point to all of this, it's when people take one of Kevin's ideas and roll with it, they oftentimes miss a lot of the things that is so great about his writing. I love how he's able to balance this campier vibe with actually kind of serious subject matter. Some great examples of this is a lot of the stuff happening with Sidney Prescott, and she's dealing with the grief of losing her mother throughout Scream, but you can look at it from an outside perspective and say this is just a goofy, campy slasher movie. movie that I'm having a good time with, and you can roll with it. I love the term that Jordan Peele uses for a lot of his own movies, thoughtful popcorn flicks, and I feel like you can weirdly apply that to some of the best from Kevin Williamson, where it's like you can just enjoy this as a popcorn movie, but at the same time, if you look deeper, there's other things happening here that are really thoughtful, really provocative, and actually pretty well done. There's great commentary on like just how horror was viewed at the time in 1996. There's this really excellent, well done plotline with your main final girl, Sidney Prescott, which is why I consider her the very best final girl of all time. You just lose, something gets lost in translation when it's one of Kevin's ideas being pitched to another writer. Just every other time I've seen a movie where it's like, oh, this came from an idea of Kevin Williamson, there's always something missing, in my opinion. And maybe that's just because yeah, well, yeah, he's such a complex. He's very complex, and he balances camp with like a serious, grounded story in such a unique way, unlike any other writer. And that's how you get something as masterful as the original Scream. So I guess that's my issue with Scream 7 is I feel like it's just going to be that. And I've seen movies like that, and I just don't like. They don't have the balance right. There's always too much of something and too little of something else, because there is so much from his catalog.
So real quick, Jake, you think, in your opinion, and of course, the four of us don't know the answer to this. We don't. And we admitted that. But my question, though, is do you personally feel that Kevin's hands were restrained in terms of writing changes? Do you think he was kind of like, do the best you can with this, work your magic with what we got? Is that what you're thinking?
I think it's less that he's restrained. I think it's more so that he is sticking to Guy Busick's new story, which, by the way, we know that Seven was supposed to be a Core 4 story originally, and that now it's been completely rehauled to be a Sidney story. So, to me, that also doesn't bode very well. You know what I mean? When you have to rewrite an entire script from your original idea, maybe some things come back from that original script that don't fit in this new idea. Maybe there's some things that feel just kind of out of place, haphazardly structured, that just was like a really cool idea that you want to force into this. I'm making up scenarios. I am. This is speculation, but that's what the stream is all about, And I've seen similar situations to this before, and I'm worried that that's what we're getting ourselves into here.
Yeah, well, gotcha. the thing is, too, though, is like, how much is Kevin Williamson really going to go in that writing room and tell them and change? Right, it's one thing to give notes. It's one thing like to ask, like, hey, what do you think? Like, what would you do in this scenario? Or present an idea. Hey, we're kind of stuck in this area. Where do you think this should go? Right. It's one thing to do that. It's another thing to go into somebody. It'd be like you, Craven. You do a video, right? Yeah. And you go, hey, Fate, can you just take a look at the video? And I'm like, yeah. Change this, and by the time you get done, it's like, okay, so the whole video was terrible. You just changed the entire video.
It's no longer my stuff.
Yeah, it's no longer your video. It's mine.
Right. Yeah, honestly,
now it's a Fate decided video. It's not a Craven video, right? And me, out of respect, right? Like if we're on this stream, it's Jake's stream, it's Jake's channel. Yeah, it's the collective thing, and we're rotating and stuff like that. But it'd be like me being like, Jake, today, I know this is your channel, but I'm a guest on your stream, but we're gonna do this today. I don't like your topic. We're gonna do this. Like, at what point is it like, okay, so you're just trying to hijack my stream? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we're doing the collective thing, so it might not be the best example, but it's just, at what point are you as Kevin Williamson trying to make this a Kevin Williamson film? Right, so you don't need me to write. Why don't you just write and direct? You know what I mean? Like, and so is Kevin Williamson the kind of person that's going to go in there and chop up the entire script to make it fit what he wants to do? It's different when it's one or two things, which is why I have my concerns about Scream 7. It's why I'm not like fully bought in. I think Kevin Williamson will kind of guide it, but you can only lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink it, right? So Kevin can kind of lead everybody, but he can't force the studio and Guy and everyone to make his script. So I don't know if it's gonna be what we want it to be. I think it's going to be kind of another rehash of what we've gotten. Go ahead, Jake.
I will say, just to end this on a positive note, I am excited that I've heard some things. There's things I won't share on live streams. But from what I've heard, it actually is a Sydney-focused movie, which is like, okay, at least they're delivering on the promises being made. I think that's what we want from a back-to-basics Scream film. There's a lot of pros. I can't say, I really can't say anymore. There's a few things I know I really shouldn't share. But I will say there's more pros than what I can lead on, is what I'll say. There's other things I'm excited to see in this film that I know of. But moving on to basically the next thing here is Scary Movie 6. This is oddly a similar situation with this continuation. We have the original creatives coming back, just like with Scream 7, but in kind of their similar roles. Now, not a whole lot's confirmed about Scary Movie 6, but we know that, we're probably going to have the Wayans brothers playing their characters from the original. Shorty's probably coming back. Come on now.
He's got to.
Gotta have Shorty, man.
You have to. But I think if there's any like real negative about Scary Movie 6, something that people are worried about, it's more so the fact that can they do that kind of humor here in 2025 or I guess 2026. But overall, I think you know what, I won't give my take yet. Well, Craven, do we want to start with you this time? How do you feel about the Scary Movie franchise?
Well, I really was a fan of the Wayans brothers 2 movies. Believe it or not, Scary Movie 2 I like better than Scary Movie 1.
I'm with you 100% on that, bro. Straight up.
I think it's a much better made film, and the story, even though it says it's a crazy comedy, goofy comedy, but the story's better. I think they learned a lot from the first one. And so Scary Movie 2 for me is number 1 of all. So for Scary Movie 6, when I heard the Wayans brothers were back, I'm like, okay, this has a real shot. They have a real shot to do this. But that's the question you brought up, Jake. I need the Wayans brothers to not give in, to not be politically correct. I need them to be the Wayans brothers that we saw in those first 2 movies. They have the guts to take some risks and, probably offend a lot of people. But it's comedy, man. It's comedy. It's like if you go to a stand-up show, you can't get ticked off when they make fun of something like maybe you have, or you're an attribute of you have, because it's comedy, guys, right? So they have a umbrella there, a little bit of safety, I think, under the comedy genre. And not only that, it's that spoof comedy where you can just kind of do anything you want at that point, in my opinion. So my thoughts of Scream 6, I did it too. Scary Movie 6 is I'm optimistic. That's the best word I can give you. I'm optimistic because of the Wayans. If someone else had come back, I would be very, very worried. So but my only concern is, are they going to stay strong to who they are back in 2000 or whenever that movie came out in 98? I don't remember.
2000, I think, was the first one.
It was 2000, right?
2000.
Yeah. So it's been 25 years. A lot has happened. Like you said, 26 when it comes out. A lot in our culture has changed. The temperature has changed a lot on what's acceptable in public to say it out loud and not. I need them to stick to their guns, bro. If they do that, let me put it this way, I'll shut up. If the Wayans brothers stick to who they are at their core and deliver that kind of comedy, I think it could be absolutely fantastic. If they do not do that, if they give in, they shave everything down, then I think it could be the worst scary movie of the franchise for me. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's gonna, to me, it depends on the Wayans. For me, they're the rule. They're the number one thing for me. Melissa Barrera coming in. Whoever, they'll have tons of cameos.
How do you feel about that, though, Craven? I'm curious about Melissa Barrera.
She needs to be careful, man. I don't know. I know that she was wronged. I 100% believe that. But at the same time, you don't want to burn you just gotta be careful. That's all. Having her in a scary movie, it almost seems disrespectful to the character Sam. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it just does to me. Like, imagine Sidney Prescott. Neve Campbell went on scary movie and was making fun of the character. I don't think that would sit very well for me. It seems like you're disrespecting the character that you're that you were. I guess it depends on what they do with her, I guess.
Because, and I just want to butt in just real quick to throw something at that. I think my thing about Scary Movie is it never feels malicious towards Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer, all those movies.
Right.
And I don't think this movie will towards the film itself, but maybe towards the studio. Like, does that make sense?
Well, that does make sense. And Gary Barber, you deserve it if they do that. That guy, I tell you what, we're live on YouTube. Gary Barber, you need to leave the studio or get with your medicine because you're messing stuff up with the Scream franchise. So maybe Scary Movie can pull it off. That's a good point, Jake.
And I think if they carry that consistently through here, we'll be on to something real good. And just real quick, I do want to say Super Tenor threw a $2 super chat out there. Thank you for the support, my friend. Saying, hey, Jake, Steven, Knight, Fate, and gang. What up, what up? Welcome.
Hello.
What's
up, brother?
Here. Appreciate you for that. Thanks for hanging out with us.
So I will stop my my ranting and give you guys the mic.
I just want to add something real quick to the whole Melissa Burr thing, and then Knight, you can go. But like a couple things. Like one, I've seen a lot of like questions like, oh, like it might discredit Scream 5 and 6 and whatnot, right? But like, isn't that a great example of why 5 and 6 wasn't great? I mean, think of the classic Scary Movie and Scream. It was, I mean, shot for shot in many ways. To this day, there's scenes that I can't, like, every time I watch and Scream, I just start laughing because I think of the Scary Movie Scream. But it didn't discredit Scream because Scream was a great movie. It stood the test. It, like, you didn't, it, like Jake was saying, it didn't, like, punch at it. It was just kind of, it was a parody. It was, parody. Making fun of, very parallel, but just like a comedic version of the original. Right? Like, I see so many people that are worried that, like, oh, like, Scream 5 and 6's stock is already dropping. Scary Movie 6 could end up, like, making it worse. And it's like, well, why is that? Because they weren't good movies. If they were great movies, people wouldn't, like, you wouldn't be concerned about a spoof ruining or discrediting 5 or 6. You wouldn't be worried about Sam's character being discredited if it was a great character, right? But there's a lot of flaws, particularly in 5. She was better in 6. But I'm saying, like,
Right.
it's like it's a glass house, and people are worried about Scary Movie throwing stones at it and cracking the house. But the original Scream, that was a stone house.
Nobody worried about it.
Yeah, you weren't worried about it. People are worried about it because they know that it's not going to stand the test. There's a real potential that Scary Movie 6 actually does better as a Scream movie than 5 and 6 does. Like that's not good.
Oh wow.
I definitely have some opinions on that, but Knight, I want to throw it to you first. Scary Movie 6, are you excited for this? Excited for the Wayans return?
Oh yeah, I'm totally excited, man. I mean, those first two movies are they were classics. They really were. I mean, even just us talking about it a little bit, I'm seeing parts of it in my head and getting a little bit of a chuckle going and stuff. I mean, but you guys are right. I mean, that movie, Scary Movie, it was successful because it was able to poke fun at the horror universe. Obviously, I Know What You Did and also Scream, but it did it in a way where this sounds weird, but it felt like it was respectful in a way. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got Ghostface. I mean, who didn't love that? You know what I mean? To me, at least in my circle of friends and so forth, it's almost like that strengthened the legend of Scream. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, we're going. People that might be worried about Melissa right now or whatever, I don't see the reason for it. She's gonna be doing other stuff as long as, I mean, like you guys said, as long as it's not something where she's totally ragging, on the character or the movies that she was in. There's ways to have comedy be effective and even edgy without them going over the line and being disrespectful. It's a fine balance, but good comedians, good comedies can do that. And
Yeah.
I think Scary Movie is a good example of that. And the Wayans, you know, like you said, Steven, I was right there with you. I mean, we don't know until we know, right? But I almost couldn't imagine them wanting to come back unless they could do it. You know what I'm saying? Like do it
Yep.
the right way.
Go
You know
their
what I mean?
way.
Because
Yes.
they don't need to come back.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Marlon said himself that it's like they have control, like they're gonna get back to that comedy. He
Yeah.
said it when he got the rights. He was like, "No, this is ours now. We
Yeah.
get the say." So,
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's like
good.
I have this feeling that if nothing else, I look, like you guys said, we're talking 20, 25 years, 20 years, whatever. I'd be like, man, we gotta show them, you know, what they've been missing. This is Scary Movie 6. You know what I mean? That's how I'd be feeling about it. And like you were saying, Fate, you know, Marlon kind of gave that vibe, and I truly do think they're gonna put it this way. I mean, we don't know how that comedy is gonna hit, but I have a feeling that they're gonna try to do the best they can do and be edgy and break new ground and make it something that's special, just like those first two were. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm totally excited. I can't wait for it. And to be quite honest, as far as the whole Melissa thing, I'm glad she's in it. You know, I want her. Hey, look, I'm wishing her nothing but success. I want her to be in all the movies that she can be in, and I hope it's good. I really do.
I like
Yep.
to like piggyback off of that. Like, I do think with scary movie, a couple things, right? One, you got the Wayans brothers who are comedians. Two, I think we're moving further and further away from cancel culture. I did a whole video about this earlier today on my channel, and like I talked about, like there's a difference between like punching down and just being blatantly obnoxious, and you know, basically being like blatantly disrespectful and trying to pass it off as comedy, and then being comedic, right? Like people can make fun of, you can make fun of things, you can make fun of people, you can make fun, like there's levels, right? Like, and you know, you think back to like, when was the last like great comedic film? You don't have them anymore. It's like The Hangover, like Tropic Thunder. Like, could you imagine Tropic Thunder trying to be made today? Right? Robert Downey Jr., right? Like, I mean, people would lose their minds. But I also think that through comedians over the last few years have really kind of pushed back on that cancel culture thing, have really kind of like made like, hey, this is comedy, people. This isn't serious. We're not up here trying to be malicious. We're telling jokes. If you don't like it, don't watch it, right? Like, and I do think that that's a good kind of barrier that they've been going through. And I do think it's kind of shifted the narrative over the last few years. Because I do think, you know, the problem is like, what studio is going to take that risk is what the question is. What studio is going to be willing to do another Hangover, right? Because once one person does and that has success, they'll start flooding in like always, right? But the problem is people are afraid. Studios are afraid because it's like, oh man, we're gonna get the backlash. But the backlash, I think, it's just, you know, it's the minority is the loudest, right? I think most people, like, they want a good comedy, right? But the people that are really, like, if you like something, you're not gonna sit there and be super loud about it. You're like, oh man, that's great. But the people that hate it are like, oh man, they're just being like, it's. I just think it's the loudest people in the room are the ones that are, you know, the ones that are making the noise, rather than it's not the consensus, not the majority. So I'm hoping that Scary Movie actually, like, finally is the one that kind of breaks through to that and goes like, hey, here's just a really good comedy. If you don't like it, too fucking bad, right? Like, that's my hope. Like, because again, all we need is that one. And then as far as like Melissa Barrera, I'm sure we're gonna probably go back around again and talk about stuff. But I think with the Melissa, I know Jake's itching, I can see it. with the Melissa Barrera thing, another thing, like, obviously I don't want her to discredit her character or whatnot. But the difference is, and like I made this a point in my video earlier, like, she's not coming back. Like, I've seen a lot of people that are like, well, you know, this could ruin her coming back, or like, you know, why would the studio want to bring her back? This is like, I've even seen people compare it to the Neve Campbell thing. They're two completely different scenarios. One was a financial thing. One was, you know, a political stance that they took and just didn't want to deal with. So, you know, and yes, there was the reports later that like, oh, her contract was up and they didn't renew it. Bullshit. Because they already had a script for her. They already had everything. Everyone's just trying to walk away clean and happy. right? Everyone's trying to just, Melissa Barrera doesn't want to look bad and discredit a studio because she still wants to work. The studio doesn't want the backlash and blow up, so they're just they're like, oh, all parties, we just decided it was best. Like the Melissa Barrera thing, right? Like that wasn't a pay dispute. That was something, that she believed in, she was vocal about, that, not to get in, I don't want to get in the politics of it.
Yeah,
but
let's don't do that.
I don't want to get into it. More people know what happened.
Right.
The point is that like that wasn't just like some little like, oh hey, we didn't pay you enough. Like Nev, she just wanted to be paid more. Guess what? They paid her more, she came back. Like I don't think Sam is ever coming back. So I think she's looking at it as like, why do I care? I'm never going back to the franchise. They'll probably never bring me back. And I probably would never want to go back. Like, what? They're not going to give me a public apology. I think people are looking at it. People are hoping that like 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, time heals all. Like by then, people will just forget about the whole thing and she can come back. But I don't think that's going to happen. Especially now with Sydney, with her daughter, they're heading in a new direction. They're moving off of the core 4, right? Like I just think that I don't see a scenario outside of like maybe a cameo where she comes back. So I think she's looking at it as like YOLO, right? Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100%. She's not coming. As long as Spyglass has the rights to Scream, you will not see another Core 4 movie. It just will not happen. Melissa, it would. Here's the thing. We say we can't bring politics into the matter, but that's what this is all about. If she goes and works with Spyglass again, she has completely gone against everything she said and everything she believes in. So it's just not going to happen. She's not going to work with that company ever again, and that really sucks, and that I'm sure that has harmed her career a little bit. But I'm seeing people talk about it in the chat. She has multiple upcoming projects. She's doing fine, and she's still very successful despite everything that's happened. But what I will say about the whole thing, just overall, I think I really don't have any worries about Scary Movie 6. I really do think it's going to be we're going to go all out. We're going to go crazy. This is going to be a bona fide scary movie film. And another reason I feel that way is because it's coming from Paramount, dude. I don't know if you guys are following everything that's been going on with Paramount in the last couple of months, but they are balls to the wall. They don't give a fuck right now, dude. So everything is just insanity at that company, and I just think that they're just gonna let the Wayans do whatever they want. And this is an insane time to follow the company, if I'm being totally real. I don't know if I'm totally rooting for everything that's happening with them, but it's really interesting nonetheless. So I can't wait to see what this movie ends up being. But there's so many factors that I won't get too deep into the nitty gritty of here that makes me have a lot of faith in this film, and I'm excited for it. I hope Melissa Barrera literally takes a stab at Spyglass. That would be very funny, in my opinion.
Somebody's got to break the mold. Like real quick before you go, I know you want to move on to the next topic. Somebody's got to break the mold, and I'm hoping Paramount is that, right? Because right now we're in this like bubble movie-wise, and as we've seen throughout history, right? Like we talked about earlier, Hollywood's a copycat league, right? All we need is that one studio that just, like you said, Jake, fuck it. Like, let's just go. And especially, like, why wouldn't you want to right now with how poorly movies are being received, how poorly audience, participation is.
With how much of a lack of comedies there are too, dude. I mean, there's
a
want, there's a demand,
Yeah, like, I don't know why you wouldn't. Like, I wish I had, like, $100 million. I'd probably just fund a comedy movie myself, because I really think if you made a real comedic film, like a new Hanover style film, like a Wedding Crasher, something like that. If you made something like that, I think people would flock to it. I think you'd get a ton of backlash, but I think people would love it.
Can I also just say to that point, Wedding Crashers, that's so funny that you bring that up. We have had a movie like that recently, and it made a fuck ton of money. Did you, like, I don't know, however you feel about this movie, that's totally fine. Like, if you hate this movie, cool. But I respected it because it was like such a movie that felt like something that would have came out in the 2000s that came out now. Did you guys see Anyone But You?
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Listen, it's not great. It's not it's not going to blow your mind or anything like that, but it feels like a movie we haven't gotten in years, and that's why I kind of just weirdly respect it. Like, it's a movie that if people are like, oh, I need a romantic comedy, I'm like, put this movie on, because it actually kind of feels like 2000s feeling romantic comedies. Like, there's a weird nostalgia to it that feels like almost accidental. I don't know. I weirdly recommend that film. It's a strange choice, but before we move on, I do just want to say, Super Tenor, throwing another super chat out there. My friend, thank you so much for the support. And this is interesting. David Lee Roth rejoined Van Halen. Never say never. I love Van Halen. I know nothing about this. How do you guys feel about this comparison?
I mean,
whoever wants to start.
I guess what he's saying is basically you just never ever know, and that's when you think of it that way. Yeah, I mean, I'm digging what Super Tenor is saying, and that happens in music quite a bit with bands that kind of get a reunion tour, and you thought hell froze over type of stuff going on. You know what I mean? So you never know, man. If someone had told me, in what was it, 2002 or whenever Resurrection came out, that Jamie Lee Curtis would have come back not for one but for 3 Halloween movies, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just would have been like, yeah, right. She was so pissed off about the end of H2O, and she didn't need to do Halloween. She didn't need to do Halloween. She didn't need the money. She didn't need any more fame or anything, but she decided to do it. So, you just never know. And I do believe that. Do I think, if we're talking specifically about Melissa coming back to Scream, do I think it's going to happen right now? I don't see it happening. I really don't. I mean, there'd have to be some cataclysmic stuff going on, like you said, Steven, Gary Barber, and stuff like that. But I don't see it happening. But you just never ever know. You truly don't.
Yeah. Craven, go ahead.
Super quick. I remember the interview a long time ago now, but Melissa said herself from her own mouth in this interview, she was asked about her coming back to Scream, the franchise. She said, "I would consider returning if Spyglass sold the IP to another studio." Yeah. So basically, she actually says she's not coming back as long as Spyglass owns the Scream IP. Guys, this is a moneymaker. There's no way they're going to sell the Scream IP. That would be ignorant to do.
They have too many plans coming up. They have the Kirby movie. They're working on a series. Like they have 7 and 8. I mean, you have at least 3 movies and a series coming out in the next 10 years.
Well, look at it this way. It's their highest money-making franchise they own.
They spent like $500 million. Yeah. Not just Scream. It was the entire catalog. But
yes,
Scream was the biggest money maker. Right?
Absolutely.
And that's why I've said, that's why dating back to Scream 5, again, it's on video. I've said a million times that they're gonna make 10 of these movies. They're not gonna stop, because I mean they'll finish 7 and 8 and they'll be lucky to have broken even. Right? Because they're making like 100 million, 150 million per, 150 million per movie. But you got to think, after costs and then marketing and all that stuff, they're probably only clearing 30 million. I mean, they'd have to make 10 movies just to get half of it back, right? So they're gonna. I mean, that's why you're getting spin-off movies with the Kirby movie. You're supposed to be getting a series, right? They're doing all kinds of creative things. They're doing selling rights to do the skins and all that. They're not gonna. No. They need this franchise to go on for another 20 years if they're going to make actual money. But that's why they bought it, so that way they can they've spent 500 million, but it'll be worth $1 billion in 5 years. That's their plan. That's their goal.
That's one thing I'll add. I know Jake's probably. I had to get it back to Jake. Here's the thing, though, guys. This is all great in theory and planning. Plannings are great. But if there comes a point that they make crummy Scream movies, Lord forbid, if they hire writers that are just terrible and have terrible directors moving forward after 8, people will stop coming to pay the money. And that's the only thing that could change this, is if those box office numbers start dropping from 150 to 110 to 90. Now they may jump ship and sell it while they can. That's the only thing I can see changing. But I don't think that's going to happen.
The problem is, I don't think that they jump ship. I think that they would just release it on streaming sites. I think like I could see like if it starts to die in theaters, I could see a couple year hiatus and then Netflix coming along and being like, "Hey, we'll give you $100 million to do 3 movies, right?" And it'll be right back to this, right? Like, so yeah. I don't think they'll ever like sell the rights entirely. I could see them again like working like Paramount Plus. Right? They already did the Paramount, like being like, "Hey, like, how would you like 3 movies on your streaming platform?" Right? Like, that's what I think will end up happening. Okay. Go ahead, Jake.
It's. I'll just say, I would love to see Melissa Barrera come back. I really would. I just under Spyglass, it feels like an impossibility. Honestly, I'd almost be weirdly upset with Melissa Barrera. You know what I mean? If you're gonna take a stance on something, do it. Commit to it. So I kind of hope she just commits and maybe. I don't know, finds a way to get into the Scream franchise somehow down the line. You never say never, because maybe we just have to wait, and that's okay. I'm okay with being patient. Legacy sequels aren't going anywhere whether we want them to or not, so maybe we get a Core 4 Legacy sequel sometime down the line. But Super Tenner's also throwing another $2 on here, and then we'll finally get to our comparison here. Dude, thank you again for the 2, saying I hope Disney sells Star Wars now that they killed it too. So we're not gonna do a round table on this, but that's a conversation and a half.
I'm very disappointed in Disney. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Who would have thought, man? Who would have thought?
I thought that was going to be awesome now that Disney had it. Nope.
I thought it was going to be a great marriage, man.
They've done it with every franchise that they did it with Marvel. They destroyed Marvel. They've done it with Star Wars. They destroyed Star Wars. What do you expect?
That's just how it goes, man. But Super Tenor, thank you for the 2. I appreciate it. Maybe someone else will get that one too down the line. That might be fun. DM Haynes, thank you for the 20, bro. Appreciate that a ton. You're always working hard, Killjoy. Keep up the hard work, man. Thank you so much. That really means a lot, man. You're keeping the lights on here at the Killjoy Jake studio, so I appreciate that a bunch, man. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the 20. That's a crazy big super chat. Means a ton, my friend. Thank you. Well, let's get into the comparison almost at the tail end of this stream here, ladies and gentlemen. Scary Movie 6. What do we think it's gonna like? I want to ask this question in a non-malicious way. Again, where I'm sitting, I don't think that Scary Movie 6 is going to destroy Scream to the point where it kills the franchise. Like, that's not what I feel like the Wayans' goal is right now, right here. I feel like if there's any sort of malicious attitude, personally, I think it's aimed at the studio, not so much the film, and a distinction will be made in the film itself. That's what I'm predicting. If you guys disagree, though, I want to hear it. I want to hear what you guys think that Scary Movie 6 is going to rip on regarding the new Scream movies, the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, and maybe any other horror properties out there from the 2020s that you want to throw out there. So, Fate, we'll start with you this time around. What do you feel that Scary Movie 6 is going to hit on in terms of modern horror? I
mean, they would be foolish not to hit on the remake franchise. So I think for sure that I think goes without saying. But beyond that, I mean, there's so many since the last film, there's so many different horrors and directions that they could go. We know they're doing the Scream thing, so I think that they'll kind of keep it orbited around that, right? Like I could see something where Melissa Barrera's character is Doofy's daughter, maybe Doofy and Gail Hailstorm, right? What if she's like Doofy and Gail Hailstorm's daughter, right? And what if that's Doofy's role of the fact he's Billy, and she just keeps seeing him like how Sam saw Billy, right? Maybe her name is like Sam with the C, like how Sydney was with the C.
Cindy, yes, Cindy Campbell.
Maybe they do something like that. That would be great. I mean, imagine if she's the because at the end of Scary Movie, Doofy and Gail, they drive off, right? They ride off into the sunset. Like, what if Sam is her daughter, right? Marlon, I'm here. Call me. I got you, my guy. TM. But no, like they do something like that, and then it'd be funny to all the things that people thought was stupid in Scream, kind of make fun of. Right, like she's seeing Doofy everywhere, and Doofy's like, you could be like me, you could kind of do some fun, kind of again parodies without kind of trashing the film, just kind of like, oh, hey, you know, here's this, here's that. Like, I'd love to see something like that. But I think Scream, obviously. I mean, to be honest, think of all the films in Scream or Scary Movie 1 and 2, right? You have The Exorcist. We just got a new Exorcist. You have Scream. We just got a new Scream. You have I Know What You Did Last Summer. We just got a new I Know What You Did Last Summer, right? You have like all the movies from the original 2 films, outside of like a House on Haunted Hill, right? Like all the other ones, you could literally make those movies again, right? Like you could even make fun of like Scream 5 for being like a carbon copy of 96, and like, you know, have like Doofy back. Right, like, you know, it'd be hilarious if they brought Doofy back and they just like, you know, CGI'd him younger and he's just like his young self again. Like when Scary Movie 2, everyone dies and they're just back, right? Like, you know, like, they're like, oh, they're the survivors of the Stevenson County massacre. And it's like they all died, right? And 2 of them were the killers, and everyone's just like, hey, how you doing, Ray? He's just like that, where like Doofy just like he's like young again. Like the actor still looks good. He still looks, you know, he doesn't look that old.
Yeah,
right?
Dave Sheridan. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I mean, I could go on and on, but pass it to you, Knight. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, look, man, you know they're gonna take a shot at Halloween. They have to do that.
Oh
They
my
have
gosh,
to.
yes.
They literally have to, and I'm here for it. You know, as a bona fide Halloween fan, I'm here for it to see what they're gonna do, whether it's Evil Dies Tonight or what. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, bro, it's
Like,
in there. You know it is.
you know, they should do a scene where someone is like, you know, clearly got like prosthetics on or something like that. You know, kind of playing off of the Loomis scene in Kills. You know, and like, you know, have they killed again? Have they? You know, and stuff like that. I could almost also see them kind of playing off of Scream and off of Scary Movie itself as a franchise. Because what if they did a shrine scene? You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine a shrine scene? Like if they just show some of the past, you know, characters in the Scary Movie franchise. Like that would be
brilliant.
That Charlie King in a thing.
Yeah.
Dude, the shrine.
The shrine,
Pamela
bro.
Anderson's like,
Oh my God! Wait, that's so funny, dude.
Hey, let me just say something right here, because I'm going to learn from Steven, okay? You heard it here first on the Lethal Collective on Killjoy Jake's channel. If there's a shrine in Scary Movie 6,
that's right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, it all goes tonight.
You get the credit. You get the credit.
Right? But
sure
I mean,
do.
that would be absolutely so much fun, man. And I mean, they could go in 1,000 different directions. Like you guys, like you said too, Fate, you know, you had The Exorcist, you had Scream, you had the new Know What You Did Last Summer. I mean, you know what else they could do? All right, and I don't usually do this, but and I know you guys have seen In a Violent Nature, right?
Yeah, like, I haven't, but it's okay. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't care.
I got something coming out where I'm roasting the crap ton out of it. But dude, what if they have a scene where the killer is just like walking around aimlessly for like, you know what I mean? Like they just show him every so often, just freaking walking, just like the movie. No shade. I know they tried to do something different, but that's what I'm saying. You could make so much fun of so many things. Get someone to get all dressed up like Nicolas Cage and long legs. Bro, they could have so much fun. They really could. It's like getting me all excited for it, but anyway,
they should have him like walk into the bathroom and take a crap or something, you know, something dumb like that. Like you see him like, you know, taking a poop or something, and just a bunch of mundane dumb shit.
Yeah, like, and when they first show him, they got to riff off the movie too, right? Because so you only see like a little bit of him, right? And he's like, "Oh, happy birthday to me," you know, while he's trying to whatever,
mommy,
mommy. And look, and when he finally, this is getting so gross, guys. I don't usually do this, but this is Jake's channel. But listen, where he's sitting there in the stall and he finally gets one to go. That's when he like leans down. You see his face, you know. Dude, they could have some fun, man. They really could. All right, Steven.
Man.
How do you follow that, Steven?
I don't. I mean, honestly, I forgot what the question was at this point. I don't even remember. I'm like,
Oh my God.
I got so caught up into this moment. I don't remember what you asked the question was.
No, it's all good. It's all good. What, Craven, what do you think that Scary Movie 6 will like essentially like rip on, make some jokes about regarding the new Scream, the new I Know What You Did
Oh,
Last
yeah.
Summer, horror pop culture in the 2020s essentially.
Well, I'm gonna say this. They picked the absolute perfect time to revive this franchise.
Mhm.
Because, like Knight said, they are in fate. I think you said it too. They literally are deja vu. This is The Exorcist. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream, and like all the movies that they spoofed back in the original. It's all in the first two. It's like they're all here, and you start throwing in these other movies like you were talking about, and the whole Shrine, man. When you said Shrine Night, can you imagine what Shrine the Wayans would put up together?
Yes.
Oh Lord!
What will be in those glass cases, bro?
Yes,
you know what I'm
dude.
saying?
It's
You know what
gonna
else would
be.
fun is like if it's like Tiffany from White Chicks and like Little Man, you know what I mean? Like do all like the throwback movies, like so it's like the characters, but then it's also like characters from their past movies and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
you can do
you all ki-
anything.
you do all kinds of stuff. Like sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I really don't have a lot to add after Night. Man, he killed it with his take. I think that honestly, I was already excited, but now just thinking of this stuff, and we of us talking about it, I'm like to a number 11 on the amp. If you know that reference, you're right on. If you know that reference, it goes to 11.
Spinal Tap, baby.
Yes, sir. Which, by the way, not totally off topic, but they got a new movie coming out for Spinal Tap in September.
Yeah, that's
Right.
exciting.
Bro,
Right.
I sorry, I got to rant just a second, Jake. I promise I'll be quick. I watched a clip from it on YouTube, and I'm not joking, guys, when I say this. If you know Spinal Tap, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. They actually have Elton John performing Stonehenge with them, singing the lead lyrics.
Mhm.
I'm like, how cool is this, dude?
Mhm.
Anyway, that's coming up. But yeah, I think the Wayans have a chance to absolutely smash it with this movie.
Mhm.
The materials are there. I hope they don't pick on my boy John Carver, but if they do, it's actually kind of cool if they do. That's a sign. It's like,
Yes.
but you know what I'm saying? Like with Thanksgiving, there's so much you could do with the Thanksgiving turkey,
Yep.
know,
I was
and
just
all
thinking
this.
that too.
dude. Yeah.
They have a big, pot for it with a cover, and they lift it up, and
Yes.
it's like a person there, like
A person. Yeah. Dude.
Like,
And not only
Shorty,
that,
like Shorty.
Yes.
Oh
Shorty
no.
Shorty with a you know what in his mouth.
Yes,
Yes.
See, we could write this, man.
Really good. And don't forget the oven. They cooked the woman in the oven, dude. They can,
Yes.
oh man.
I love when they have the
Shorty-
shitty puppets, dude. You know what I'm talking about? Like the crappy looking animal puppets that they have in those
Yes.
movies. They got to do
Yes.
that with like a turkey or something. That'd be too funny.
They got to. They have to. Oh, and
Lord.
Blucka, I just saw Blucka's note. Megan, you got the Megan
Oh,
movies. I
yes.
didn't even think about
And
those.
Wednesday,
Megan doing the
oh
Wednesday
my
dance.
gosh.
So
Bro.
the rumor right now with Scary Movie 6, why the Melissa Barrera thing's being talked about before she went on that podcast and said, "Oh, I signed some deals to be in some comedy movies or whatever." Before all that, the rumor was that it was going to be her playing like a fictional version of Sam in universe with a character named Tuesday, which was going to be a Wednesday
Oh,
parody.
dude.
Oh,
So
dude.
you know she's just going to be doing stupid dances like the whole time, right?
That is,
My God.
man. When does this
Oh.
movie come out? They ain't even filmed it yet. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to see this movie.
It comes out June.
June something.
16th? June
Yeah.
16th?
I think
Okay,
Maybe.
summer of next year. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, my thought is I'm going in with high expectations. I really am. And I hope that they, like Knight said, they stick to their guns. And I think they would. I don't think they would have signed either Knight a contract
Yeah.
if they were going to be told you can't cross these lines. I don't think they would have
Right.
done it. Yep.
Right,
So
I agree.
I think it's going to be amazing. That's my hope. Yep.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm very hyped. If there's anything else that I feel that they're definitely gonna rip on, there's gonna be an Art the Clown running around in the background. I mean,
Dude,
come on.
has to be. Oh my gosh.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Like, it would be great to see him just kind of like a background gag, like just every now and then, like mid conversation, he just kind of comes up to like an extra and rips their arms off or something and just runs away. Like that would be so funny, dude. I would love to see a shitty Art the Clown in this. But. Yeah, and Super Tenor also is bringing up. I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but Naked Gun has been very well received. There's been a lot of comedies lately that it seems like they're coming back. If I'm being real, so I could totally see Scary Movie 6 just being this like surprising hit. Back to form, back to kind of like 90s 2000s like comedy, which would be awesome. I would love to see that just whole genre come back in one way, shape, or another. So
Julie just said "fart the clown."
Fart
That
the
is
clown.
perfect.
Oh my god.
Yes.
oh
yes.
man,
That's it right there.
Julie, that's crazy.
someone
Oh my
call the
God.
Wayans. Got to get this
Yeah,
going,
right? I'm telling you, man, we're laying it down right now.
We're laying it down, dude. Oh my god.
Could you imagine that scene when they're messing around with Thanksgiving? Like they got like shorties in the oven, and instead of being all freaked out, he's like, "Oh man, this is getting me all set up for what I gotta smoke next." Can you imagine?
He's using the burner to light a joint or
Yes,
something, dude. That would be
yes,
so
yeah.
funny. Oh my
You could
god.
be like, you could say something like, "Hey, turn up the heat. I gotta. It's not. We're getting hotter in here. I gotta get this thing lit."
Oh man, that writes itself right there. Come
Oh,
on.
It does. It does.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Instead of doing horror movies, we should just do comedy movies. Right?
Yeah.
It
Oh
worked
my
for Jordan
God.
Peele,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, jeez.
But overall, fellas, if you had to pick one you were more excited for, I'm curious. Well, I think I already know the answers, but I just want to go around and see what everyone has to say. Craven, between Scream 7 and Scary Movie 6, which one are you more excited for?
Oh, it's got to be Scream 7 for me. But let me tell you, Scary Movie 6 is right up there, bro. It's right up there high on the list. But no, Scream 7 for me. Yeah, got to be.
Hell yeah, dude. Knight, how are you feeling about this comparison?
Same way, man. It's got to be Scream 7. But I'm gonna tell you what, man. This has been hilarious, and it truly has moved my needle up for Scary Movie 6 so much. Because I've been obviously following, a little bit of the news here and there, and like, all right, cool, it's gonna happen. But just talking about the possibilities and just kind of reliving, some of the great moments. It's like, man, this could be like you guys have said, this could be massive. It could be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. Fate,
Yeah, man.
Fate, how are you feeling about this comparison?
I am actually more excited for Scary Movie 6 than I am Scream 7. I still worry about Guy. I still worry about from what we saw. Like if the Wayans brothers weren't coming back for Scary Movie 6, it'd be no brainer. I'd be more excited for Scream 7. I had concerns for Scream 5 and I had concerns for Scream 6. And literally to a T, those concerns were exactly what I said that they would be. And I said I wasn't going to like it would happen. And it's one of those things like, how long am I supposed to believe that you can put this together before I finally just go, all right, you just don't have it. Right? I know what the Wayans brothers can do with a Scary Movie franchise. I have yet to see that was a really good Scream movie from the people behind Scream right now. They've had two chances, and in my opinion, they've failed both times. Now, to varying degrees, right? I'm not saying that they're like unwatchably bad, but compared to what the expectations were with those films, I just think that they have fallen short twice. And at least Scary Movie, again, we don't know. We won't know until we get there. But the only thing that I see from the Wayans brothers is wins. Like even a Haunted House was like a dumbed down version,
Right.
like a dumbed down version of Scary Movie, and I still enjoyed those. Right, like I did. I genuinely I enjoyed those two films. Like they're not they're not up there with Scary Movie, and it wasn't all the Wayans brothers. That was just kind of Marlon and just kind of doing his own fun thing. But I still enjoy them, especially the first one. Second one I thought was a little forced, but the first one I genuinely enjoyed. So for me, it's Scary Movie 6. Just because I just have a lot of concerns for Scream 7, and I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping I go into Scream 7 and I'm like, this is great. But I said that twice, and both times I got I got slapped in the face. So, tired of walking into the ass whooping. Go ahead, Jake.
I'm more excited for Scream 7, but I have more faith in Scary Movie 6. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
I know honestly I have no concerns about Scary Movie 6. I know some people are going to make the argument of, well, comedy hasn't been there in the last couple of years. Yeah, but things are changing. Like if you look at the trends and everything happening right now, like I have a lot of faith in Scary Movie 6. Scream 7 I just not as much. I think there's a chance that it could, they could have pulled it all together and it could be something awesome, and that would be nothing would make me happier. Truly, nothing would make me happier than for this film to be this big success. It's something that critics and audience members alike just really fall in love with. It's one of the best entries in Scream ever. That would be awesome, but with all the production issues, it just feels unlikely. So I want to be I want this movie to bang, and I'm going to go into it with an open mind, but I just have my concerns. I know Scary Movie 6 is going to be fucking hilarious, though, especially as someone who has been so kept up with a lot of the horror movies from the last 5 or 6 basically years. I know I'm going to vibe with it. So I hope it's good. I hope both of these properties are good, truly. But it all just comes down to what we get next year, fellas. I'm really excited to see Ghostface's legacy continue in 2 very different directions.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
Very good stuff. But fellas, before we sign off here, though, let us know what you guys are up to. Fate, we'll start with you real quick. What are you doing this week?
Well, I'm back to posting videos regularly. Back on Fate Decided. I'm not there where I'm posting multiple a day like I was, but definitely trying to get at least one a week right now, and then slowly we ease into it, and then start doing live streams again and stuff like that. So go subscribe. I should start having more time to make more videos. So check out the channel. Yeah. Night.
Yeah. Hopefully going to be streaming at some point this week. Kind of had some schedule changes and so forth, but I'll be still posting videos. And like I said earlier, I'm going to be roasting the crap out of In a Violent Nature. So that'll be hopefully tomorrow afternoon, if not later on tomorrow night. So definitely check it out. And yeah, that's pretty much about it.
So that's why it was on the brain tonight? That's interesting.
It was, man, and it was just funny because I'm just, well, and I won't rant about that particular movie, but as soon as we start talking about Scary Movie 6 and the possibilities, that just jumped right up in my mind. It's like, man, it's like, yeah, I could definitely have some fun with In a Violent Nature.
Hell yeah, man. And Craven, what are you getting up to this week?
Well, I'm going to be streaming at night. It's going to be joining me on the channel this week. We are working out the details, but it could be possibly next Saturday or possibly Thursday. We'll figure it out, but keep an eye out for that. We're going to be eliminating. We got 30 horror movies that we accumulated on a list between him and I and the chat a week or 2 ago. And we're going to eliminate that list, guys, to 1 movie. It's going to be insane. So definitely come check it out. It's not set up yet. Oh, no, it is set up. I set that up. Yeah, that's right. So if you go to my channel, you'll see it right there on upcoming streams. And if you do me a favor, if you go over there and click it and hit the thumbs up button so we can get the algorithm, stirred up a little bit before the stream. Other than that, I also, as Knight said, plan to stream this one day this week. And so it could be anytime between Tuesday to Thursday. Actually Friday too. So it could be any night this week. Anyway, it'll be Scream Talk. It'll be maybe due to your ranking. Who knows? But it'll be fun. But it's no fun if you guys don't show up. So do me a favor. Go to the channel, subscribe, click it, and we'll be with it. All right? That's stupid.
Or TikTok.
I love it.
Well.
I loved it. Very good stuff, man.
Oh, Lord. That's it for me, Jake.
Hell yeah, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining me. We will be on Knight's page next Monday, correct?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Potentially,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Night
Yep.
and then me and then Fate. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. So
That's
stop
it.
on by the Night Watch Zone next week for some more Lethal Collective. It'll be a very fun time. Guys, thank you again for hanging out with us. Thanks for talking Scary Movie 6 and Scream 7. We'll be back next
Yeah.
Monday. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Night.
The collective has spoken.
Yes! Yes!
Bam.
Yeah!
Bye, guys.